Gurpreet Seble, a pioneer in the field of nails. She is one of our most famous and most well-known nail artists, nail educator and nail technician. And she is a smart businesswoman. Gurpreet, welcome to this conversation with nasbeauty.com.
Thank you. I appreciate your time and I love talking to you about the industry.
Let's start at the very beginning. When, how and where did this journey into the world of nails start?
A long journey. I've been in North America 30 years and getting my nails done for 30 years, which really brought me into an arena that was alien to me, the beauty industry, because I was an IT personnel all along with Air Canada on the IT side. But I noticed that women would walk in and walk out with so much confidence and it's maintenance free, and I said, what a beautiful concept. And then in 2003, one of my visits to India, I realized there was no nails here. And I said, this is great, we can bring something here and make all these Indian women feel good about themselves, feel good about trends and technology on an international level. And I think that was the starting point right here where we are in Galleria. This is our 10th year, and I'm very proud to have brought the technology. The rest, as we all know, is history.
When you started working in India and when you decided to set shop in India, what were the issues you faced? What were your experiences, the good, bad, and everything that came along with it?
I think we need to have a dinner chat on that one. But yes, you're right. Every country has its own set of advantages and setbacks, and India being my roots in my home country, I probably didn't expect so many challenges, because when you're in a new country, you're expecting, to adjust, to integrate, to know the culture, to know the people. But India had changed a lot in all these years, and doing business in India was a whole different kettle of fish. But bringing into perspective, the kind of support and the love and acceptance from everybody in the industry has been phenomenal, and I don't think I would change that ever.
Which was the year when you started shop here, and when you started shop, really speaking, what did you have in mind? What did you decide to do? Did you want to do nail art? Did you want to do education? What was it that you began with? What was the big idea inside of you at that time?
I have learned nails for so many years as my stress buster, as my hobby, and now it's time to maybe play with that hobby. So the concept was to set up shop, have just one shop, do the best nails in India, and have a lot of friends, as in the people who come in for my services. And it did work out that way. But we had nobody to work with us, and one person can't run the show. So the education started right after we set up shop, and we've been educating since. I think my passion is training. My passion is education. I just love to share knowledge. I love to see women, especially because I had come from a very strong personal situation, but I had so many choices. All the women here who were working in homes, or struggling in call centers, and they didn't have too many choices if they went through that. And I said, listen, this is the time you can do something for women. And that really motivated me. I got people from the villages, from Darjeeling, from, Garhwal, everywhere. And these people who never dreamt they would ever do anything in their life are today making 50, 60, 70,000 a month. And I think that motivated me to stay on.
So back then, 10 years ago when you started your journey, so what about the products? Because a lot of products are used for a nail art. So how did you go about getting those products, and what was it that was in use then, comparing it to now?
The technology has really come a long way. It was very different back then. I took on gel in a very big way. I became one of their spokesperson in North America for pushing gel in a third world country like they call us. And it was not easy. It didn't work the way it worked in North America. I could do the same product there and it was flawless. The same thing I did here did last 2 days. So yes, there was a big struggle. It took almost 2.5 years for us to settle down, in terms of products. We were doing 2 systems, the gel and the dip system.
So what are the brands which you were?
Lots of different brands. I have worked with products from IBD, from Star, from OPI, from Biosculpt, because everything is available in North America. And I brought a lot of different products. We have a long way to go in terms of product, in terms of technology. I have then coordinated with the manufacturers who were always sending me samples to test if it would work in India. So we have fortunately been able to procure the products from the manufacturers, and they've given me a leeway to have my own private label, because then I can go out and market it to the middle class. Our consumer base is all middle class, and this is where I think our win-win, my aha moment was in 2010, when we finally got a yes from the manufacturers that yes, they would cater to us.
What is the investment required in terms of the materials and the training of the manpower? What are the requirements?
The basic kit that we give them at the show, which is obviously 50% off most of the times because you want to make it special for your visitors who are coming there, they can start out with as little as 10,000. Really, there's not a very big investment, and like I said, most cities the training is free. Okay. If we have to fly down a trainer, obviously the cost is divided, but still it's not much. And if you are willing to risk that much, what I think is that people are not willing to dedicate a staff. That is where their issue is. It's not with the training or the products, they can afford it. A full set could be worth 1 lakh and a full station can be loaded with 10,000. It's not the price point. They are apprehensive of putting one dedicated person thinking that I'm wasting manpower. Okay. Once they jump that barrier, they're fine.
Okay. A lot of the products involve chemicals. Now there are good chemicals and there are bad chemicals. Can you give us a few tips? Can you give our viewers a few tips regarding that?
I think all chemicals are bad. There is nothing like a good chemical. The moment you introduce something that is not natural, it is harmful unless you know how to use it. Whether it's like bleaching your face at home, from a do-it-yourself box, or going to a hairstylist for your perm, for your color, for everything. I think chemicals are really dangerous, and the only way that you could handle them is with education. If you're educated and you know how to handle them, you can handle anything.
So would you red flag any chemicals in the nail sector?
Even something like acetone remover is a red flag. Anything that you touch, you apply on your body can penetrate into your bloodstream.
Also with nails you have fungal infections, all other kinds of, which could spread to others, which could create complication within that person. So how do you address issues like that?
We know that fungal infection in the toes especially, I have seen it a lot in India. I've seen it everywhere. But since I opened the nail bar and I had a lot of people coming in to do pedicures, and at that time a part of our services was fungus treatment, because I've done the medical side of the podiatrist to take care of fungal treatments. It is there and it has to be controlled. The reason it is spreading is because the pedicurist is not aware that he or she has to not use the same implements from one client to the other. We disinfect after each one, and what we use is the operation theater disinfectant that is used by the doctors. And yes, your implements do get corroded. They don't look pretty because it takes only 2 weeks for them to get corroded in that solution, but it's worth it. You're not spreading it, you're treating fungal treatments. We do a lot of stuff with even psoriasis, which is not, fortunately, has nothing that can go to anybody else, but we do those treatments.
You've started Nail Pro, so tell us something about that aspect of your business.
Nail Pro, which actually stands for Nail Professionals, comes under the umbrella but is a separate entity altogether. Nail Spa is me, and I take care of the retail end, because the retail comes under education. The education is so important to me, and the retail is under the education umbrella. If you don't mandate your standard, if you don't implement what you've learned, then your retail will also suffer. So these two are my two main directorates that I handle under this umbrella. The holding company is a separate company, but then Nail Spa and Nail Pro are part of it.
So outside of work and outside of teaching and creating beautiful nails, what does the other Gurpreet do in her free time? What are her hobbies? What are her passions?
I think the techs will laugh, the managers will laugh, the corporate office will laugh when you ask that wonderful question. They've tried many times to switch off my phones. They've tried a lot. But yes, I do love to travel. You know, I've been going to Vegas since 1990, and even this trip for the Cosmoprof, I said no more. But travel, I think, is in my blood. From the industry, obviously, and then continuing on to, I love traveling. And that probably can take me away from work. Other than that, I love to listen to music, especially, you know, now we've gone back to the retro, so that's bringing back all nice memories. Love to go out with friends and family, but nothing like, I'm not a squash player, and I'm not a gym person, and I'm not a golfer, but that's okay. You know, I love reading, so I've got enough in my day. You know, I get 6 hours of sleep. I'm happy with that.
How would you describe Gurpreet in 3 words?
Very, very sensitive and emotional, but extremely passionate.
Wonderful. Thank you for talking to us.
It's been wonderful.